agriculture feature called The Farm Gate. I bring the latest news and information on where agriculture is and where it's going to WHOW Ag listeners several times a day. From tariffs to treaties, from the Board of Trade to the running board on your truck, I cover Central Illinois agriculture every day on The Farm Gate. Hear it all on WHOW's many platforms, on the radio or online. Join me, Stu Ellis, for The Farm Gate.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock is news time on the WHOW Morning Show. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast, streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. A Sunday night fire outside of Clinton left the golf cart garage at the Clinton Country Club a total loss. A DeWitt County Sheriff's deputy reported the fire shortly before 11 p.m. Sunday and was fully involved by the time crews arrived on scene. Clinton Fire Department personnel indicate by the time crews arrived at the scene, the barn was already nearly a total loss, and the goal was to protect the main country club building adjacent to the garage. In addition to Clinton Fire, tankers were at the scene from Kenny Fire, Wapella Fire, and Maroa Fire Departments, with Waynesville Fire on standby at the Clinton Fire Station. Around 5,000 to 6,000 gallons of water were used, primarily to protect the main country club building. According to Clinton Fire personnel, that's a relatively small amount, and it was in part because the building was nearly a total loss by the time of crews' arrival. Crews were at the scene until roughly 1 a.m., and the cause of the fire is undetermined. The DeWitt County Board last week decided it would stay with its Marina operator after it was brought to light at the regular county board meeting in July. Joe Caldwell and his organization were out of compliance on insurance coverage.
With a significant weather update. A severe thunderstorm warning continues until 8:15 a.m. this morning for Woodford, Tazewell, Peoria, Schuyler, McLean, Mason, Logan, and Fulton counties. Both large hail and straight line winds are possible with this storm. Pea-sized hail and winds up to 60 miles an hour are likely as it pushes southeast at about 55 miles an hour. Once again, a severe thunderstorm warning continues until 8:15 a.m. this morning for Woodford, Tazewell, Peoria, Schuyler, McLean, Mason, Logan, and Fulton counties. Bear in mind, this storm has the potential for pea-sized hail and wind gusts to 60 miles an hour. Stay tuned for additional updates. I'm meteorologist Derek Height.
The DeWitt County Board last week decided it would stay with its Marina operator after it was brought to light at the regular county board meeting in July. Joe Caldwell and his organization was out of compliance on insurance coverage in July. When the findings came to light, board members pressed to have a special board meeting to direct State's Attorney Dan Markwell to take corrective action, but Caldwell ultimately filed the paperwork ahead of the board's special meeting last Tuesday. Board Chair Terry Ferguson indicated during the meeting it was proposed to terminate Caldwell's contract, which was voted down.
It brought to our attention back in May that the operator didn't have workman's comp insurance. It's a requirement of the contract. At the previous board meeting, it was discussed as to whether or not he had the workman's comp in place yet. And I'd been in conversation with the insurance company that it was almost ready. They expected it to be in force here very, very soon. It's a product that takes a little time to get put in place. Buck Carter thought we should have a special meeting and have the state's attorney make an official notice that the operator was in violation by not having the workman's comp insurance. And the insurance was, in fact, the next day, we did receive the certificate of insurance that the workman's comp was in force. But we had already had the meeting scheduled, so we held the meeting to determine whether or not that was adequate.
Mm-hmm.
I think the motion that was placed on the agenda, I think it was placed there by the state's attorney to cancel the lease with the operator. So we held the meeting. The motion was made as printed on the agenda, seconded, discussion followed, it was determined, yes, he did have the certificate of insurance in place. There was an amendment made to that motion to not to cancel his lease immediately, but to cancel it at the end of the year. That motion failed to amend. So then we had a vote on the main motion to cancel the lease, and that also failed. While it wasn't the best situation for him not to have his insurance, he was in violation of the contract. The majority of the board felt that now that he has his insurance, it's the middle of the year, things are going pretty well. Let's just leave it alone.
The question the county board has largely been unable to answer is just how long has the operator been without insurance? Some speculation is it has been the entirety of the first year as an operator, plus the first half of this year. Ferguson believes it's an easy oversight to make.
I don't know. I've dealt with a lot of contracts that require a certificate of insurance to carry out, and I guess it's pretty easy just to get that certificate of insurance and say, yep, here it is. I don't know if that's what happened in the past. I know the Marina committee did not see the fact that the certificate had no workman's comp listed. Once we saw it, we brought it to the operator's attention immediately. He got it put in force. So, their 2 weeks ago, the workman's comp is enforced.
According to Ferguson, the county board heard from a couple of Marina users that spoke in favor of Caldwell and his organization, praising the job he's done at the Marina. Ferguson felt those comments went a long way for the board.
Well, there was a couple of gentlemen that came and spoke to the board about the operator, how much they appreciate the way things are running, how it's nice to have an operator that cares about the cleanliness of the facility, making it more family friendly, having games available, yard games available for the kids to play. And in spite of the COVID and all the troubles that's been going on here in the last couple of years, the marina is full. By far and away, the majority of the boaters are appreciative of the operator and what kind of job he's doing. I think that weighed on the decision of the board.
I'm weatherology meteorologist Derek Height with a significant weather update. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for areas of McLean, Logan, DeWitt, Mason, Menard, Tazewell, and Woodford counties until 9 a.m. this morning. Both large hail and straight line winds are possible with this storm. Pea-sized hail and winds up to 60 miles an hour are likely as it pushes southeast at 50 miles an hour. Stay tuned for additional updates. I'm meteorologist Derek Height.
Ferguson reminds the board extended Caldwell's contract through 2023 to allow him time to work through all the COVID challenges and make the appropriate changes to the marina. The Warner Hospital Foundation is announcing its first annual golf outing to take place this September. Board Director Kurt Holman on the WHOW Morning Show told Regional Radio it is a lot of work up front to establish the event, but hopes as it becomes an annual event, it will grow in popularity. Holman will be pursuing sponsorships for the outing on Friday, September 9th. He notes now is also the time to start getting registered. The Warner Hospital Foundation will be the latest to introduce a golf outing among a host of other local groups that offer such an event throughout the nice weather of the summer. Holman says while you might think adding another outing to the lineup would oversaturate the demand, he says golf outings are usually very successful. There's a number of ways to support and get registered for the golf outing. Holman points anyone to the Warner Hospital Foundation Facebook page and sending a direct message. You can also contact the hospital and they'll direct you to Holman for more details. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4Ls with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton is your local trusted source for compassionate care. CEO Paul Scourin here reminding you to find out how we provide care close to home by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
When it comes to fire and water restoration, ServPro of Piatt DeWitt counties is the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction. Find out all the services they provide by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. 26 is the magic number for Jason Drangwitz and his Ironman football program from Normal Community High School. Last year, the Ironmen finished the regular season 9-0, but had a disappointing exit in its 25th straight playoff appearance. Coach Drangwitz explains his team got great experience between the COVID spring season and the return to the regular fall schedule last year.
Well, I think last fall was definitely the benefit, even though the spring COVID season was tough. You know, we played a lot of sophomores and juniors in that spring season and then flipped it right back around and played in the fall. So we had a lot of players who had taken a lot of snaps, played a lot of games for us heading into the fall. We were pretty senior-laden offense, defense, and special teams last year, and I think that really propelled us to have an outstanding regular season, making the playoffs for the 25th straight time. Unfortunately, and disappointing losing in the second round of the playoffs because we definitely had higher aspirations for that. But it was still, we felt like an extremely successful season in 2021. And do feel like that's, propelled us into the off season as a program. Thought we had an outstanding winter, a great spring, and an even better summer with a lot of unknowns, but a lot of different guys, younger guys, returning seniors, stepping up and trying to fill those voids left by our graduating seniors.
Going through the summer workouts and getting ready for the start of the fall season, Coach Drangwitz indicates the focus is always getting bigger, faster, and stronger. Sometimes he may mix up the summer routine, but for the most part, it usually stays the same.
Well, I think first and foremost, you're asking them to continue to get bigger, stronger, and faster with your weight and speed program that you run the off season. And then it's just been about installing our offense and defense, getting people comfortable in their spots and understanding what they got to do schematically on both sides of the ball. June was a pretty heavy workout month for us, doing some football stuff, but not a lot. About an hour a day on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then optional football stuff on Thursdays. And then amped it up in July, 4 days a week until the end of July. So really just trying to get our guys acclimated to what we do offensively and defensively. We do have a new defensive coordinator this year. A lot of things are staying the same, but he's putting in some changes and nuances to our defense, which I think are going to be beneficial. And at the same time, not trying to grind guys out in the summer, doing enough football to keep them going, but not enough that they're dreading football starting in August, but excited and wanting more and looking forward to that start a week from today. So I think our off season, especially when we talk about the winter and spring, which is, some of the most demanding things in football is your off season training. Mm-hmm. We'll tweak our off season a little bit. It's about team bonding, leadership development, strength and conditioning, but really seeing who's committed to what we're trying to do in the off season, because, football is, about 10% of what you do in football is the fun stuff, playing games, and then 90% is the hard work, grinding in the weight room and running and practicing, etc. And so we really use our off season as a way to get bigger and stronger, introduce what we're doing, but more than anything, to find out who's committed, who's bought in, who are our leaders going to be, and who do we think we're going to be able to count on when fall goes around. Because we feel like if we can't count on you in the winter, and we can't count on you in the spring and the summer, you're not going to be someone that we can count on in the fall on Friday nights. and hopefully on Saturday afternoons in the playoffs.
For those unfamiliar with Ironman football, Coach Drangwood says they try to take a balanced offensive approach with a balanced run and throwing the ball around. He feels the approach of the program has been consistent in the last decade plus.
Offensively, we like to throw the ball around, but we're built on running the football, and we like to be able to run the football downhill and outside. A lot of built within that is some RPOs, some run pass options. And we got to be effective in the passing game, but you're not going to see drastic 5-step concepts holding on the football. We're trying to eliminate negative plays and not take sacks. Defensively, we're an even front or a 4-down team that has a lot of flexibilities in it coverage-wise. We've been pretty consistent offensively and defensively probably for the last 12 years. I like what we do as long as it's consistent enough that our kids know what they're doing and they can play fast and with confidence. I enjoy being at a big school. I like the flexibility and the diversity that it provides. We have really good numbers for a school our size. I think in the summer our numbers were around, right around 180 players, freshmen through seniors, which is awesome. It allows us to develop talent, develop depth, have more options, be able to do some things flexibility-wise, be creative with personnel packages, and get more people on the field as much as we can.
Practices for the high school football season commence next Monday, August 8th, and then kickoff is Friday night, August 26th. Coach Drangwitz is looking forward to the strength of the special teams. He feels they have two of the better skill position players in the area.
Yeah, I kind of talk about it in all three phases. Special teams-wise, we're excited. We have Ryan Milmore back. He'll be a 4-year kicker for us, punter, outstanding punter and kicker. So looking for us to continue to develop and take advantage of opportunities in special teams. Defensively, I think our strength, we return more guys in secondary back. But the guys that are going to play on the defensive line and inside linebackers have had outstanding summers, and we're excited for them to lead us defensively and try stopping the run. Offensively, we feel like our running backs, Chris Taylor and Tommy Davis, are two of the best players around, and that's definitely going to be a strength for us. Cannon Mackey returns on the offensive line. We've got some holes, not holes, but just replacing some guys, and a bunch of guys have been trying to to meet the challenge. We've got some young sophomores that have stepped up on both sides of the ball that are really talented and have a bright future. And, just the strength of our team really, Seth, I believe, is that we have great young men who show up every day, work hard, and want to be coached. We have great families. Our staff does a great job. I always feel like that's the strength of our program and one that we definitely never want to take for granted. So excited about it. Feel like we got some areas of strength, but definitely got a lot of areas we got to get better at. And the only way we're going to find out what those are and get better is by playing some games.
The Ironmen play in the Big 12 Conference and will look to defend the conference title this year. Coach Drangwood says it's going to be a very balanced conference that will offer a challenge each week. You can follow the Ironmen on Twitter at the handle @IronFootball. And Coach Drangwood notes the program is also working on establishing an Instagram account. In a game heard here on WHOW, Sal Perez and Whit Merrifield hit solo home runs. Daniel Lynch took a shutout into the 6th inning in his return from the injured list as the Kansas City Royals edged the White Sox 2-1 Monday night for their second straight win. Perez launched a monster blast for the second straight game and his third homer in 4 contests after missing 31 games with a left thumb injury and surgery. The 7-time All-Star All-Star catcher has 8 RBIs in that span. Merrifield's drive into the left field bullpen off Michael Kopech in the 6th may have been his last with the Royals. The 2-time All-Star in 7 seasons in Kansas City has been the subject of trade rumors heading into today's trade deadline. Andrew Vaughn and Tim Anderson each had 2 hits off Lynch, but the Sox slipped back to 500. Pinch hitter Gavin Sheets drove in a run with a sac fly in the 7th. At 23-29 at home, Chicago failed in a bid to win 3 straight home games at Guaranteed Rate Field for the first time this season. Lynch allowed 6 hits, struck out 7 and walked none in 5 1/3 innings as he returned from a rehab assignment with AAA Omaha and started in place of Brad Keller. The 6'6 lefty went on the injured list in July with a blister on his pitching hand. The second time in a month the injury sidelined him. Scott Barlow got the last 6 outs for his 17th save in 20 chances and worked around a single. In each of the last 2 outings, Kopech allowed 2 runs and 6 hits in 7 innings. He struck out 3, walked 1, and threw a career-high 100 pitches. The Sox had 10 hits, but 9 were singles, and Royals pitchers issued just 1 walk. The Sox filled a gap in their bullpen by acquiring left-handed pitcher Jake Diekman from Boston for catcher Reese McGuire and a player to be named or cash. Diekman is 5-1 with a 4.23 ERA in 44 appearances this season. The 6'4", 35-year-old is particularly tough on left-handed hitters, holding them to just a .188 batting average so far this season. Brad Keller starts tonight facing struggling Sox right-hander Lucas Giolito, who is 4-2 with a 3.54 ERA in his first 9 starts, but 2-4 with a 6.75 ERA in his last 9 starts. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to